she is going to need to get from Kabul University through multiple Taliban checkpoints and then through another Taliban checkpoint to get into the airport to survive. If she is going to survive and get back to her husband, she is going to have to make that decision right here and now. Today's podcast is sponsored by the Association of Mature American Citizens, the fastest growing conservative 50-plus organization in America. Join today at amac.us/Carter. This is a very somber day for so many reasons, for all of us, for our nation, for me personally, for my husband who served, for all of the men and women who serve, whether they are in the intelligence apparatus and here at home, supporting those in our military who are overseas, the families of those, and anyone and everyone who just cares. And that's what this podcast is going to be about. It's going to be about my journey the last few nights, the last week, but mainly about what happened last night in Kabul, Afghanistan, and then how it culminated this morning with a VBIED and a bombing in front of the Abbey Gate. Today, 4 Marines, they just, as we were coming to do this podcast, lost their lives near Abbey Gate. Over the last week, I can't tell you how many countless people have been sent through Abbey Gate, how many lives have been saved at Abbey Gate because of Marines, young men that are standing there, and also women that are working with our State Department and others who are on the ground with our intelligence apparatus. I'm sure so many people just trying to scramble and save people's lives. That's it. I have to say this really quick. Please follow and subscribe. Get all the links at saracarter.com. And while you're there, sign up for our email list. Please do. Please sign up for our email list. Support us. I have so many friends in Afghanistan now, so many people that we've got to keep connected with. I have the foundation, thedarkwire.com, and I'm using that foundation, what little is there, to help some of the people that I know. I'm also, my husband and I, blessed, thank God, part of the family that we were trying to get out did make it out. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that, and that we are going to sponsor them here in the United States to come live with us. So now I have a new baby in the house. A new baby will be in our house. One that actually was born the day that the Taliban came into Kabul. But before we get there, we have to have sponsors. And I love every sponsor of this show because they make it possible for me to deliver the podcast to you. So for a limited time, you guys know this man. He is a true and great American, Mike Lindell. And I know his heart has to be breaking right now with everything that's happening. But for a limited time, you can save 50% on all Giza Dream sheets. Go to mypillow.com, click the radio listener square, and use promo code Carter, that's CARTER at checkout, or call 1-800-685-7221 to get the Giza Dream sheets for as low as $49.99. You'll also find deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the MyPillow mattress topper, MyPillow towel sets, and so much more. Don't miss this sale of the year. That's mypillow.com, promo code Carter, or call 1-800-685-7221. Sleep better with mypillow.com. Several days ago, maybe 3 days ago, I don't know, my time is running in circles for me. I got this text message. Hello, sir. He called me sir. He had no idea it was Sarah Carter. He just got my number. This is blank blank. I'm a permanent resident in New York, and I arrived in the U.S. in 2016 through the SIV program. I served in the U.S. Army for more than 5 years. My wife is in Afghanistan. She went to the airport last Wednesday. She spent 3 days there, but she couldn't make it to board a plane because she is alone. She got so sick and she had to leave the airport. Can you please help her get the ground help that she needs to the airport? Her life is in danger. Please, sir, help me. I am worried about her. I haven't eaten or slept for a week now. I really appreciate your help and regard. I served this country. I hope my voice is heard too. This is her full name. This is her birth date. This is her passport. This is the contact number in Afghanistan. Here's my email address. I told him, please send me all of her documents. And I'm so sorry to hear that this is happening to you and your wife. It is happening to so many people, and it is so unfortunate. But I will do everything I can to get her information to the right place, to get her message to the right people, and to get her inside that airport. I just need all of her documents. And if possible, a copy of your documents, your SIV documents, and anything else, a marriage certificate, etc. He still didn't even know who I was. He was probably just like, when I picked up, hi, it's Sarah Carter. I'm on Fox News. He's probably like, what the heck is going on? Anyways, I don't want to go through all of the other texts. I want to go down to a text that he and I had and I'll tell you when she actually made it, but I want to tell you what happened. It was this morning before the bombs went off. But let me describe to you this circumstances that this poor man and his family endured. She's very young. She's in her 20s. I'm not even going to give her exact age. He had to send me her picture a couple of times because twice we tried to move her she was actually at Kabul University, and it was about 25 to 30 minutes away from Kiev, from the airport. And I promised him that I would stay up all night with him. So I'm very tired right now. So we've been talking back and forth all night. She's at Kabul University. She's all alone. She has a relative that can help her, but none of them have vehicles. So they have to get a car. So I get this message from people on the ground and people connected here at congressional offices and stuff. They figured out, I sent them all of her paperwork. Everybody was scrambling. There's so many people trying to get out. And they were like, they realized that she was probably a very high target on the Taliban list. And they said, let's do it. Let's try to get her out. But she's going to have to do this on her own. Imagine that. Imagine being in your 20s, being a young girl, and being told that, hey, we're not going to be able to get anyone to you. You're going to have to make it through Taliban checkpoints. I'm going to have to call her husband now and tell him, look, you got to prepare her. She has one option and one option only. She needs to be brave. And she needs to listen to instructions. And she is going to need to get from Kabul University through multiple Taliban checkpoints, and then through another Taliban checkpoint to get into the airport to survive. If she is going to survive and get back to her husband, she is going to have to make that decision right here and now. He called her. He informed her of what was going on. I was trying to limit a lot of my talks with people on the ground. Some people I had to talk to that I know, and there was no other option. With her, I was trying to limit it. I didn't want a lot of US phone numbers going into her phone because we had just been told over the last several days that the Taliban was taking people's phones at the checkpoints and that people were disappearing. And if Afghans who didn't have passports, some of them who even did, but if Afghans specifically didn't have US passports or US documents or foreign passports or documents, that they for sure would be targeted. So they would take the phone, they would go through the phone. Oh, what is this number? Who are you calling? Tell me what are you doing? Who you're working for? Why are you trying to go to the US? Afghan women aren't allowed out of this country. That's what they're yelling at them and beating them and hitting them, raping them, doing whatever they want to do with them. Because to the Taliban, the women are less than a dog. Trust me on this. Trust me on this. So her poor husband, devastated, had to call her and say, my love, you need to get ready and you need to be brave and you need to get through those lines. It was tough. They sent me her pictures. We were on the phone almost all night long. The first time we almost had her out the door, she had to stay back because there was too many Taliban on the street and this poor young woman could not go out past curfew. And I was like, I don't know if we're going to have another chance, but let's just keep her at home. We don't want her to die. She can't be out past curfew. They're going to kill her. So then early that morning, as the sun rose, as the curfew went off about 4:30 in the morning, she started getting ready. We said, call the uncle, get whoever you need. Let's find a taxi. By 5 a.m., she's getting downstairs. She's already taken her pictures. She's wearing actually a very light colored kind of floral scarf. And so that way she can stand out a little bit. We've sent her some specific words that she needed to know through other people that talked to her. So it wasn't in her phone that she would need to say. We had an Afghan contact on the ground that was there to help her. But guess what? He was trapped at Abbey with hundreds of people, hundreds, maybe thousands, down the canal line. She got with her uncle. She gets to a taxi. Shows up. Can you believe this? A taxi. I know I've ridden in taxis in Kabul. My husband thought I was nuts. I probably was. I didn't realize the exact danger always, but it's kind of like Winnie the Pooh. Rich laughs whenever I say that. I kind of just went through things and was lucky enough to survive. She gets in the taxi. Her husband's constantly on the phone. I'm constantly on the phone with her husband, and I'm constantly in communication with other people. I got to tell you, Charles Navarro, I'm just going to say it. I mean, amazing human being on the phone with me all night. Other people on the phone with me all night. People monitoring her, monitoring others. I'm like, look, she's gotten in the taxi. She's with her uncle. She got through one checkpoint. She got through another. She gets to Abbey Gate. She's at the Barren Door. And the Taliban, armed Taliban in trucks and guarding and beating people, are stopping any Afghan from crossing. She gets right up on the edge of them. And she's devastated because they're screaming at her, you are not going to get through this line. Her husband's relaying this back. She can't get through. She can't get through. I'm like, who is there with her? She still has her family with her, but they cannot stay much longer. I said, she can't move. Taliban is telling her, you better go. I told him, don't keep her brave. We got to get her through the line. I got a message from people on the other line saying, you know what? If she wants to live, she's going to try to run through that line. She has to do anything and everything to survive. She has to get through that line. This is all before the bombings. There was an Afghan man on the other side. I'm not going to say what his name was. He was aware that she was on her way, and he wasn't going to be able to reach her because, my gosh, he's already past Taliban. He's got a bunch of people there too that they're trying to get through. She calls him. She's crying. She can't get through the line. She can't. Her husband and I were like roller coaster all night long on the phone. And I was thinking, my God, this is what it was like for people, right? In Dunkirk, trying to escape the Nazis, for the Jews, imagine trying to escape, right? The horrors of Nazi Germany. Here's this young girl who is thought of, I want you to understand this, less than a fighting dog to the Taliban. She's property. She is nothing but property. And she's standing up, facing them down. A girl who, by all descriptions, I can't wait for her to make me dinner. Her husband and I are now brother and sister, by the way. We have just decided that through the universe, we are now family. She's waiting. She's crying. She's on the phone. There's this other man on the other side, and he's saying, I don't know if I can come and get you, but I guess at some point, he was so disturbed, this wonderful Afghan man. By the way, I want to address all of you out there who are listening to me. I've spent a lot of time in Afghanistan. My husband was blinded there. He has spent a lot of time in Afghanistan. By the way, since 2001. Since 2001, my husband's been there. Yes, there are enemies on the ground. There are horrible, horrific extremists on the ground. But there are amazing human beings on the ground too. People exactly like you and me, if not better than you and I, because they have been through so much, and somehow they find the will to live. Somehow they find the will to go on. Somehow they teach me to be a better person. I don't know if I could have done that. I don't know if I could have broke through those lines. It's pretty scary. But she just cried. And this angel, this Afghan man, this angel came after her. I don't know how he did it. I haven't heard this This part of the story yet, I don't know. So I can't tell you how he got around that Taliban line and how he got that young girl across the Taliban line. And he got her through. And I was getting messages from Kabul from the great people down there on the ground that are doing everything they can to get as many people as they can through. And when I found out, when her husband found out that she was safe and on the other side of the line, and he was scared because he was like, oh no, she's on the other side of the line. But guess what? No Marines are there yet. No one's there. I'm so nervous. He was sending me like, any husband would be, or any family member. He's like scouring the internet. What's going on? He's at the Canadian embassy, scouring their embassy internet, trying to see like what's going on, sending it to me, saying, I hear there's this threat, there's that threat, there's a bomb threat. I said, look, she made it through the line. She made it through the line. Somebody will come to get her. We have to believe that. We have to have faith. We have to believe. Here it is. Oh, he sent me one. This is before the bombing. Afghanistan due to threats inside Kabul airport. Oh, this was the one from the U.S. U.S. citizens should avoid traveling to the airport. I just read this. I don't know if it would still be okay for her to go. Okay, that was just before she left. I said, don't pay any attention to this at all. If someone tells her to go, she needs to go, because what's going to happen is they're going to shut down that airport and she won't be able to get out. You got to tell her to go. So I'm scrolling down through my trusty phone here. Oh, there's her pictures. I wish I could show you. Scrolling down. It was just a night, a saga. We didn't think we were going to be able to get there. She's not responding by her phone. I hope she's okay. She said she is sitting there. I don't know exactly the location. There's no internet to share her location because we were trying to do that as well. Scrolling down. You guys heard that. I heard the Taliban I had heard from a source that a Taliban has grabbed some of the buses. They're holding Afghan people and not letting them go. I was trying to tell him, don't let her, when she was at the line still, don't let her go to where we were thinking we were going to try to send her to a bus. We had to stop her because we were scared that the Taliban might grab one of those buses that she would be on. I said, give her a call right now. Sure, I'll give her a call now, because we couldn't find her. So do you want them to exit the airport? Sister, guess what? We did it. I just got a call from blank, and she said they found them. I believe she is with blank now. She couldn't talk any longer, but I'm waiting to hear from her once she gets fully inside. Sister, my wife is with him, but she said that they are waiting to get inside. They aren't still inside the airport. I am so worried. I said, thank God she's with him. Let's wait to hear. Thank you. I haven't slept tonight worrying about her. Please pray that she can board the plane. At that moment, I will be released from this stress. I said, yes. I was worried she would not get in. I was worried she wouldn't make it to this man, but thank God she did. And then, yes, it is great that he got to her. And then I just spoke to someone. They said there will be someone there to get all of them soon. Great. And thank you, sister. He calls me sister now. I have an Afghan brother now, guys. If there's anything good that came from this mess that Joe Biden screwed up for so many human beings, he really should resign as president of the United States. But if there is anything that came from this, is that there was some, not all, but some resolution. I always needed closure with Afghanistan. This gave me a little bit of hope and a little bit of closure right now with this gentleman and with the family that we got out. I want to read this to you. God, I wish I could share all of this with all of you. I am. It's kind of cathartic. I know you're all listening. He sends me a message. He was worried about the Canadians, saying there was a bomb threat there. The bomb hadn't gone off yet. I said, no, they're already past the point. She can't turn around now. I said, listen to me. They are better off than 90% of the people in Kabul. So sad. So many will not make it. He said, yes, she just called me that they are now with the Marines. Yes, ma'am. I know how many are still waiting for the hope to get called. But sister, I I am so sorry I didn't sleep last night. I can't focus on my texts. He said, I said, no worries. I was just thinking she was blessed by God to have you contact me. And for some reason, I've been blessed to be able to help her right now. I'm just crying. I'm so happy. That's true. This is how God blessed us. And not only God made me happy and relieved, but also gave me a hero and a kind sister for which I will forever be grateful. I hope our councils won't give her a hard time because she couldn't take her visa or green card. A lot of people just had to flee, had to run. Well, guess what? Making a long story short, she was on a plane, and as she boarded that plane to leave Kabul with other people who made it through that gate, the bombs went off and so many died, including our 4 Marines. To say that the last few days have been a roller coaster from hell is putting it mildly. It's crazy. I guess when it rains, it pours. I'm going to take a moment to digress from Afghanistan. We've been dealing with a situation. My very good friend, Gary Brugman, who was pardoned by President Donald Trump, has been for the last 2 weeks on a ventilator because he had COVID. And finally, in the last 3 days, God is great. The ventilators have been taken down to like 40% with only 8% pressure, meaning that they are weaning him off the ventilator and he is surviving. Thank God, because we have been praying for him every single night too. My gosh, it's like when it rains, it pours, right? We all make it through. We have good things in this podcast. Not everyone will survive. Not everyone has. Many soldiers, many Marines, many of our airmen, many of our Afghan brothers and sisters right now, 250,000 will be left behind. Many will die. Many people have already died. Today, I'm going to my husband's good friend's funeral. He died months ago in an operation outside of Afghanistan. And we understand the sacrifices that people make so that we can be free. And as Americans, we need to open our arms and welcome our brothers and sisters who aren't afraid to stand up for freedom, who aren't afraid to stand by our side and fight in a battlefield. And those that are coming here from Afghanistan and our men and women who are in uniform and who are putting everything on the line for us. You know what? Just say thank you to them. Walk up to them. Trust me on this. You will not regret it. You will not regret it. Some of the people I am closest to in the world right now are from Afghanistan. They're amazing people. Take it from me, somebody who's covered the war there, somebody who's watched our troops die there. Why do you think so many of our troops are fighting to get their buddies out? Their brothers and sisters and out. They're Terps, they're interpreters, they're bodyguards, they're special operators, the specially trained forces in Afghanistan. I got families here that are willing to sponsor them, people that want to bring them and let them live in their home. Like I said, I've got a new family that's coming to live with me, and I'm so excited because they're my family. They're willing to fight. They're willing to stand up for freedom. I'm going to tell you something that an Afghan woman who, by the way, she was an American. She told me on the phone this before I end this with you. I don't want you to think about it. I want you to think about it. I had to call her a couple of times. Her sister was an SIV applicant because her husband worked for our forces. He died last year. Her sister was still going through the process of getting a legal, cleared visa to come into the United States to become an American citizen. Her family had been working for 2 years to do this for her sister and the 4 little children, all under the age of 10 that were with her because now she's a widow. Her sister, the woman I was talking to on the phone in Afghanistan, was an American citizen with a U.S. passport. She had gone to Afghanistan because she just married the love of her life on August 12th in Afghanistan. And an absolutely stunning woman. She looked like, I was like, super. She looked like a supermodel at her wedding. I was like, they have these beautiful weddings in Afghanistan that are just incredible. They're just they're really the most important thing in someone's life there is just absolutely stunning weddings. And she was devastated on the phone. I had to call her and tell her that, okay, you and your husband, we can get you guys out. They were looking for somebody that could help them. And I was talking to them. And for some reason, I was the only person she was in contact with. That's why I knew Jen Psaki was lying when she said they were all in contact with all Americans. I mean, I literally, other people with Congressman Mike Garcia's office, people with Senator Tom Cotton's office, I mean, talking about Americans in Afghanistan, were not contacted by the State Department. They were not in contact with anyone. They were reaching out to me. I am not operations center at my house in the kitchen with a bunch of coffee and people on the phone. My phone just kept dying. I couldn't even talk to my own kids because I was like, you're calling me, but someone's calling me from Afghanistan. We have 6 kids. So I had to keep hanging up the phone on them. Is everything okay? Are you guys safe? Yeah. Okay. Goodbye. I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll talk to you when I can. We're trying to get people out. So we had all these different operation centers. So this woman, I had to call her and tell her, you're going to have to leave your sister behind. She was devastated. She was crying. She didn't want to do it. I said, but look, I'm hearing that we could get you and your husband out. I'm telling you could do more for your sister and for her kids if you get out. If you stay there, something horrible might happen to your sister because they'll know you're an American. They might execute all of you. And then I get a call that said, oh, we can only take her. Tell her she can't take her husband. And I was like, what? No, You want me to, we have to call back. And it wasn't even the person's fault that was calling me. It was somebody else. I won't even explain this part yet until I clarify with someone how this happened. Somebody else, because the fog of war, passed this message down. And now I had to call this woman and tell her, guess what? You are the only one that's allowed to leave. You have to basically leave your whole family behind and your husband. It was literally, I told someone, it was literally like I kicked her in the chest and knocked the air out of her. I felt like the worst human being in the world, that I had to give her the message. I knew what she was going to say. She said, I'll call you back in a few minutes. After crying with no sound. I don't know how to explain that. And she called me back, and she was brave. And she said, without crying anymore, I have made a decision. Tell them to stand down. Do not come and get me. I will not leave my family behind or my husband. I will not abandon them. She said, I would rather face death by the Taliban than walk away in shame like a coward. She said, you could deliver that message to President Biden. I'm not a coward. He is. He's a coward. And he put everyone's life on the line. And I know he did because I've been there. And I understand that the Taliban and ISIS and all these people are a ragtag fleet of really bad guys with an ideology that we cannot comprehend or understand. But you know what they do understand? They understand the Reaper. They understand our drones. They understand Hellfire missiles. They understand force. They actually respect it because they won't mess around with us. If we would have delivered that message to them, if we would have told them, guess what? Every single American and ally that we want out is going to get out. You do not have a timeline, buddies. Look, they didn't abide by anything. There were bombs all around Kabul. Who do you think did that? Did they follow procedure? Is the Taliban a great government? We've made it worse. That's what I said at the top. I said this at the top. We are going to be haunted by this decision that this administration made for generations. Trust me. You're right. Afghanistan is the place where great empires go to die. Don't know why. Don't understand the power of those mountains and the Khyber Pass and the people and their tough, thick skin, really literally because of the sun, and their calloused feet and their ability to survive some of the most treacherous environments and their ability to survive their tribal structure and each other. I don't understand. But what I do understand is that we're the United States of America. And nobody, and especially a ragtag fleet of extremists that do nothing but harm people that are weaker than them, are now sitting there with our weapons, with our money, in a country, abusing women and making the world a much more dangerous place for all of us. That is what the Biden administration has done. You and I have a big decision to make, guys. We have an election coming up. We need to, get our battlefield ready at the polls. We need to get out there. We need to vote out those Democrats and any Republican who was too weak to stand up and fight. People like Mike Garcia, Senator Tom Cotton, by the way, Charles Navarro over at Congressman Mike Garcia's office. He is a hero to me. He is now one of my closest friends. I mean, we've just, and by the way, Molly and all the people connected to Congressman Mike Garcia too, just amazing human beings. And Senator Tom Cotton, thank you. You are another angel and a wonderful human being. And the people on your team who have helped get people out of Afghanistan, I mean, there are no words to express the gratitude and how humbled I feel, my husband feels, the people that you've rescued feel, that you actually cared enough to have people that were working like Mike Garcia and his team and Charles Navarro and everyone I know and all the intel people on the ground in Afghanistan, Governor DeSantis of Florida, Governor Abbott of Texas. What awesome men and what awesome women that are standing up, like Senator, Marsha Blackburn and others who aren't afraid to stand up and fight for freedom. Those are the people we should be putting in. Dan Crenshaw, people like that. I know I'm missing a whole bunch. I know, I'm sorry, guys, but Jim Jordan, right? Congressman Brian Babin from Texas, who had family and he has skin in the game, right? That's what we need to do. We need to unify. We need to stand up. We cannot give up hope. And God help us if we do. We need to be stronger than that young girl that stood by the Taliban and said, guess what? You could kill me now, but I'm getting to my husband. God help you. God help you. That's the lesson of Afghanistan. Afghanistan is about willing to put everything on the line for what's right. It's about survival. It's about standing up for freedom. Freedom is precious. It's so beautiful and awesome. It's the only thing worth fighting for, guys. That's it. Think about it. Think about it when you go to Target, like me. I was in Target the other day trying to get gifts while I'm on the phone trying to coordinate. I was trying to buy gifts for my daughter's birthday. I almost forgot my daughter's birthday. I'm so sorry, Annalise. I didn't. But I was in there, answering the phone, coordinating. And I thought to myself, you know what? As bad as I feel right now, I never felt better. It's a little selfish thing, making a difference in someone else's life. Just picking up the phone, just saying, I love you. I'll do what I can for you. It doesn't have to be a lot. Going to the voting pool, just going and voting, just doing something. Everything we do is just one step closer to victory. And when you think and when you watch those videos of all those people scrambling to get out of that godforsaken country right now, think about what you have and how fragile it is and how we can lose it all if we don't protect it and stand up for it. It's the reason why Tunnel to Towers Foundation is another great sponsor of this show and an organization that I wholeheartedly believe in. It has been honoring America's heroes ever since. Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors our military and our first responders. What have I been talking about right now? What about the 4 Marines, right? They could have family. I don't know. They could have family that is now without them. Children who don't have a father, wives who don't have a husband, Think about that. Tunnels to Towers Foundation will honor them. And this year, they're bringing 200 mortgage-free homes to Gold Star and fallen first responder families with young children, and to our nation's most catastrophically injured veterans and first responders this year. To honor the fallen Frank Siller, who's this incredible guy, I wish all of you could just know him personally, is connecting where America was attacked on foot. The Pentagon, Shanksville, and downtown Manhattan, where he arrives the morning of 9/11. I'm hoping to still meet him there. Thanks to your support, Towers of Light are to fill the sky at the Pentagon and Shanksville memorials again this year. People we lost to 9/11 related illnesses are being honored at the ceremony on September 12th for the first time, where my husband is also going to be reading some names. And another first is planned for Veterans Day. Those lost in the war on terror are having their names read aloud. So honor and vow to never forget. Donate $11 a month at t2t.org. That's t2t.org. I stand behind this organization 100%. Do it. $11 a month is all it takes, and you will feel good about yourself and about your decisions that you make in your life. You guys, I'm going to be wrapping this up. I'm not going to talk much more. I know there's so many more stories I want to share with you. So much I wish I could share with you. You know, I promise certain people privacy, and I will. I will keep you posted, though, on my family that is coming. The reason I'm not saying their name is because half of their family is still there. Actually 13 members of them. And we're trying to get them out even after the bombing. I don't know if we'll be able to. Of those 13 members, 4 are children under the age of 7. They're beautiful kids. Pray for them. Pray that they find their way out. Pray that we get them out and on a plane. And thank you to all of the individual citizens out here who have been donating money, planes, food, clothing, homes for all the people of Afghanistan and for our own American citizens who are now struggling to get out of there. Believe me, they have a fight ahead of them. This is getting worse and worse by the minute. It's deteriorating rapidly. Look, visit universalcoin.com/Sara. I want you to do this. I know I have one more sponsor that I want to get in here, another sponsor that I really, truly do appreciate and have a lot of respect and love for here. It's Universal Coin and Bullion. It's dedicated to providing clients with outstanding collecting and investment strategies for the rare coin and precious metals market. Visit universalcoin.com/Carter or call 1-800-UCB-GOLD. to get a no-cost, no-obligation gold info kit to easily protect and enjoy your rare coins and precious metals. I have some of them, so tell them Sarah Carter sent you. That's universalcoin.com/Sara or call 1-800-UCB-GOLD. That's 1-800-UCB-GOLD. Again, thank God every day that you live in this amazing nation. Thank God every day that we can still communicate with one another openly and that we don't have some dictator or fascist or extremist government above us, standing over us, destroying us, killing our children or our women. And pray for those that do. And pray that they make it here because they make this nation a better place. And remember, it's about doing things the right way. I love the immigrants. I love all the people that try to get to this country like my mom did when Cuba fell to Fidel Castro. Those people that are struggling to get here from Mexico, those people that are struggling to get here from Afghanistan. But we all have to do things the right way. And we have to know how to do them. And we have to have people stand up for us, sponsor them, defend them. The ones that deserve to be here, the people that have worked so hard, that have stood alongside our men and women on the battlefield. And folks, for those children in places all over the world that are suffering, just think about them, pray for them. When you look at your kids, just thank God every day that we're so blessed and take care of them, love them, hug them. Life is not easy for many of the children in this world. And again, thank you for being a part of the Sarah Carter Show. Remember, you can read my stories at saracarter.com. You can also read stories from some of the most amazing interns I have, and I'm be posting some stories from some Afghan refugees at thedarkwire.com. That's my foundation, thedarkwire.com. We're going to try to make that something big and spectacular in the next few years, getting the stories to you that people are not delivering in our media, but getting them right directly to you and bringing them from the voices that you may never hear from if we didn't do it. So again, thank you. God bless you. Remember, here at the Sara Carter Show, we are taking the story back. Frank Ziller, I am so happy to actually meet you. Tunnel to Towers is a foundation that I am so proud being a sponsor for the Sara Carter Show. So thank you so much. You know, when I read the spots, I'm looking at the stories of how the foundation started. I'm so moved. What was it that made you realize, you know, we've got to do something. We've got to give something back?
Well, my brother 20 years ago, on September 11, 2001, when he gave his life up while saving others, you know, New York City firefighter that runs through a tunnel, the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, with 60 pounds of gear on his back, gets through that tunnel, goes up West Street into that South Tower and goes up those stairs. And along with 343 firefighters, 60 police officers, and so many others, he gives up his life. We needed to make sure that that sacrifice and that story was not forgotten. So that's why we decided to do the foundation. He was the youngest of 7. We raised him. My parents died by the time he was 10 years old. So he has an unbelievable story of how he recovered from his own losses. And he realized that every day in life was precious, and he lived it that way. So he died the way he lived, serving others. T2T.org. That's T2T.org. It's only $11 a month. It's up to every single one of us to do our part to help those that were willing to give everything to protect us and our families.